it's not a moral question. It's not like some puritanical imposition, some oppressive religious kind of thing. No, they're looking at it like even mechanically, that our minds do become corrupted by ideas, false ideas, crazy ideas, ideas that that disallow our mind to be connected with ourself. And so it becomes an instrument that was working against us rather than working for us, right? And the yogis are saying that there are ways that you can rid those files rid the computer of those files. There is an antivirus program that you can run, and that's yoga. And it does involve breathing, because breath affects the mind. And here it's also saying that it involves austerity, right? That if you deny yourself certain comforts, and if you voluntarily accept certain discomforts, it can have a purifying effect on the mind, because the mind is programmed to seek comfort, right? Seek comfort, and that comfort can actually it can corrupt our mind. So that seeking and that false idea that I need comfort and that my happiness is found in external comforts, it diverts us from the real happiness that is our true nature. And our life can begin to feel very meaningless and purposeless and depressing.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. Today, it's Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. This is episode 1634. Welcome to the show. Kaustubha, welcome to the show. It is Walk on Wednesday. We have a very special guest. But before we bring him on, Miss Mara, do you have any announcements?
Good morning. Our next session 11 of the Sage Groups, runs July 14th, and it lasts for 8 weeks. And the sign-up starts this Saturday at 9 a.m. So if you'd like to join a Sage group, check out our website, wisdomofthesages.com. On Saturday at 9 a.m., you'll be able to sign up.
Okay, Mara, a little pro tip here.
He's in a mood today, Mara.
Please teach me.
He's
Let me learn.
A little pro tip. We're trying to get people to sign up for Sage groups. It's something that's going to really enhance their life, going to enhance their community, enhance their bhakti. You got to read that dramatically. Let's try it again. Okay.
Let's go out and come back in and do it the right way.
Try that again with a better attitude. Just kidding. You got a good attitude. But the Sage groups are happening. Sign up Saturday. Oh my God. How fortunate are we? Huh? It's a different approach, different results. Kaustubha, again, Radhanath Swami, keeping me on the edge of my seat. Keeping me like Draupadi, like, what am I going to do here? Everything's falling apart. Only Krishna can help. Maharaj, at the 11th hour, at the 11th and a half hours, like, I'm not feeling well. I can't come up. That was yesterday. And me, Mara, and Bunky, right after the show, we got this message. We had 10,000 and a half things to do.
After yesterday's show,
we got off the phone. We're like, okay, a meeting. Here's the 11,000 things we're going to do. And all of a sudden, I can't come to
wah.
It was like that. And we just like, almost like we have nothing to do now. We went from like, we have too many things, now we have nothing to do. And so, again, today's same thing as yesterday, but pushed back one day.
Now we have 11,000.
Now we have 11,000 things to do again. But I will say this: the initiates are coming. We're going to have a beautiful program. We're getting like how many? Like 80 people, a bunch of people staying over.
Wow.
Kirtan, festivities, and His Holiness Kaustubha is also coming. He's going to get on the Amtrak chariot, the Amtrak Roth, and head upstate, out of your comfort zone into the forest.
All right. Out of my comfort zone.
But we're looking forward to having you.
I think I
We
might
already
be more
got Lex
comfortable
from
'cause
Germany
the
is here.
The city
Huh?
is sweltering right now. I think I may be more comfortable up there.
I heard the city was 101 yesterday, 101 degrees.
And it's probably like the real feel was probably more, you know.
With the what?
The real feel kind of index.
real
or
feel
whatever
was
they call it.
more?
I don't know what the difference is, honestly, but
Yeah,
the real
whatever it
feel.
is, it's hot. You're sweating just walking.
Oh,
But anyway, we have a really special guest today. It's Ashwin Kumar
all right.
for our Walk on Wednesday. Walk on Wednesday is when we bring a person on the show who's doing something cool, and we'll pick their brain and tell. So they're doing Ashwin. Welcome to the show, Prabhu. How are you?
Hare Krishna, Jai, Jai, Jai. I'm fantastic, Raghunath, brother. It's fantastic to see you and all your beautiful people here.
Now, Raghunath,
Yeah,
you dropped the. You're supposed to say devotee filmmaker.
Well, yes.
Right?
He's a devotee filmmaker that I had the good fortune of meeting last year in Palgar at the GEV, and
Yes.
he showed a bunch of us 20 minutes of his film he made, which is quite amazing. It is. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the film?
So the film is called Maha Avatar Narsimha, and this
Maha
is the
Avatar
first
Lord Nrsimha.
Narsimha.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the first film from the Maha Avatar series that we're bringing, and this is Maha Avatar Narsimha is Lord Narsimha in a big epic 70 screen, tearing. First time he came through the pillar. This time he's going to tear the screens and come alive into the theaters on the 25th of July.
Okay,
Did you
Raghunath,
catch that?
just for listeners that might be unfamiliar, why don't you just fill people in? Narsimha is this avatar.
Yes.
Me
So we all know the stories of Prahlad Maharaj, how Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna comes because
We all don't
his
know
father.
that. Our listeners may
Actually,
not.
we
Okay.
all don't know these. We're dealing with a
Oh,
bunch
oh.
of green saplings.
Oh,
here.
all right. So, in all cultures, we have the archetype of a lion lord being a savior of the society. And we'll come down to the Indic archetype also, that being Lord Narasimha. Let's say if you go to Egypt, you have the Sphinx sitting right next to the pyramid, which is
That's
half
interesting.
man, lion, half man.
Never
In the
thought of
Norse
that.
and even in the Greek philosophy, you have the Narnia story of the Chronicles of Narnia, where you have a lion god saving the children, and the witch happens to be looking for an eternal life. So that's the archetype that
I see.
revolves there.
It's
the
across
story.
cultures.
I did
Yeah,
not
it's
know
across culture.
Narnia was Greek. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you go to the Japanese and the Chinese traditions, you have the Lion Day and the Lion deities again being preyed upon for protection. But
Okay.
all of these stories actually root down to the original story from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam of Lord Nrsimha, which happens to be the fourth avatar of Sri Vishnu.
Okay.
Now there is a demon. His name is Hiranyakashipu, and he is the tyrant of the three worlds. And he has a very technical boon because of his austerities that he can neither be killed inside the house, nor outside it, nor above, not in the sky, not on the ground, neither by an animal nor by a demigod. And he just takes over the world. How you know how these megalomaniacs are.
They do.
So the same story, different faces, till now. And lo and behold, the child that he has, so he has plans, beautiful plans for his child, that my son is going to be taking over from here. But this 5-year-old kid named Prahlad turns out to be a devotee of Vishnu, the arch nemesis of Hiranyakashipu. And this tyrant is so egoistic that he wants to kill his own son because he not turned his other cheek and listened to his father's parables. And so he tries to kill his son all the time, and pure bhakti of Prince Prahlad makes him into Prahlad Maharaj, the Saint Prahlad, because Lord Vishnu, because of his pure bhakti and pure devotion, protects this 5-year-old boy in all the atrocities that his father would put him through, burning, poison, etc. And in the turn of events, in the climax, his father would ask him that if your Lord is everywhere, he must be even in this pillar in front of me. And if he isn't here today, I'm going to slit your throat right in front of me.
Oh.
And And he says, yes, he's in this pillar indeed. And lo and behold, our Lord appears, breaks out of the pillar. And this form is a very special form because he takes this form for the protection of his devotees. This is a half man, half lion form. And this is in the 7th canto of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, very explicitly explained. And keeping the wounds of Hiranyakashipu, neither being killed inside nor outside, he kills him on the ledge of the house. He places him on his lap, neither above the ground nor on the floor, and he tears him open with his bare hand, his nails. It's basically neither by a living or non-dead. Weapons of non-living or dead, yeah.
Okay.
And that's the story.
Yeah. So it's a story of how Krishna manifests in one of his Leela avatars, right? It's in one sense it's how he plays, but it's his the feelings of protecting my sweet innocent devotee, how his ferociousness manifests, and you've captured that on film.
Yes, we've tried. It's an animated feature film. It's an animated feature.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to say here that, and perhaps it's because we grew up with movies that when we read novels, perhaps our imagination is dulled down.
Yeah.
Maybe movies fill in a lot of the blanks and we have to think less. And I think that's why there is an importance in storytelling. But I will say this, you really captured the emotions of every character involved. When I saw that teaser, I walked out of there. I was truthfully, I was just hoping to like, wow, this is great. You know, a film that's going to sort of excite me. It's nice when there's Krishna conscious entertainment. I'm a devotee. I don't watch that many movies, and this is something I can watch and feel good about myself. It's sort of like a positive recreation. But I walked out of that film actually spiritually touched because you really captured the compassion of the Saint Prahlad. I walked out of there thinking, Prahlad is so compassionate. How can I be that? Prahlad really didn't want to hurt his father. He was begging his father, Father, you just understand this. I'm not trying to against you. Don't you understand? This is your Lord. He's not my Lord. He's our Lord. He's everyone's Lord. And you captured the compassion of Prahlad. And I walked out of there with a new appreciation for Bhakti. So I feel like whatever you've been doing, you did it. You hit the nail on the head. It was very, very, very good. And it's very, very, well, it's according to Ashwin, internationally, very soon on July 25th.
That is correct. Yes.
Now
what happens
just
on
put
July
a
25th?
teaser on the message board. We will.
I didn't catch that.
What happens the day it comes out?
Oh yeah, so many things, and through your podcast, I'd like to tell all the beautiful souls here. The 25th of July marks the release of this film in 5 Indian languages, but subtitled in English around the world.
Okay.
But if you want a special viewing, if you have like a congregation that wants to watch this film, you can contact me. I'll put in my number here on the message or through Brother Raghunath Prabhu over here. You can give me the numbers. We can have a special show arranged through our distributors for you all. And probably even discounted. I'll try to have all those things arranged, but the idea is to awaken each and every soul, and the mission of every art at the end of the day is to get you a transcendence, to get the psychology and the consciousness to a more transcendental state. And that is what we have tried to do. All that you will watch in this film is from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and the epic Puranas, almost as it is explained by the Acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada. And it's been the process of getting to that nuance working was meditating upon it and then building.
I got a question for you on a side note.
Please.
Did you get any pushback from Bollywood or the music or the film industry because it's religious and sometimes they want to get behind more secular films?
Yes, in some ways, because not per se, but in some ways, yes, because they do not really believe that bhakti or devotional films or dharmic films can work. It's a very sad state of affairs. But yes, it's time it's come back because all the gods are coming back on screen big time. And we have just and they're rising back. The Dharma is coming back. It's the tapa, it's the energy of this land. They just mountain out, the separation and unions of forces. It's just cyclical. What I also believe, today we had a huge announcement of all the Dasha avatars for the next 10 years, and we have slated it out with our presenter and group called Hombale, which is one of the biggest production houses of India, who are backing us now. And
Wow.
we are slated for the next 10 years for all the epic avatars in a huge epic way.
One avatar per year?
In 2 years, one, yes. Our next
wow.
would be Lord Parshuram. Next
Oh,
one.
wow.
Ash-
Oh, that's a heavy one.
Ashwin,
Yes.
Now,
Yes, yes.
I feel like you found your life's calling. Like you're going to be busy for the next 20 years with this stuff.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be needing you all because I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. It's my calling. It's my soul's calling. I was into deep darkness in my life, a lot of other drugs and a lot of other things I've been through in my life. And
Wow.
these books really saved me, and
Wow.
calling woke me up to my true self. And for the past 10 years, I've been working about how
Wow.
to do this. And here, the Lord just opened up beautiful ways and made me meet such wonderful, great souls such as you and your public over here.
So
And
it's a story of being saved, really.
Yes,
Bhakti
yes,
recovery.
You've been saved.
yes, this is the best rehab one can have.
So I'm just curious, and forgive me, but I think a lot of Americans can relate to this. So we tend to think everybody in India is pious and devotional and spiritual, but you're saying you went through a tough time yourself with drugs or with some dark places. And
Yes, I did.
And you climbed out of that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's only through the mercy of devotees, because there was somebody looking out for me, thinking and praying for me. And no matter how much I would give in, they would never give up on me, and they would just motivate me and encourage me. And the books of Srila Prabhupada, each page of the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita was a slap on my face, on my ego, which really woke me up. And I do not know where this will land up, but I do believe many people on earth today need that kind of saving. And I am no prophet, but I'm just doing my part, because I have felt there is a gift by the Lord that has been endowed to me, and I must use it in His service.
This is beautiful. You know what? This is going to affect more people than you can even imagine. You won't even be able to imagine. You're thinking, I'm making a film. I know this because I used to make records. And you never know who listens to that record. You never know how it gets out there. And it's going to be captured in time, almost like what do you call this? Time capsules, where 100 years from now, 500 years from now, you're leaving this mark. This is like the Grunta Samadhi, the sacred literature books. You're leaving a legacy. It's such a beautiful service.
No, thank you so much.
And it's so wonderful to see people happily engaged in their life's calling. Congratulations. And we're going to encourage everybody to first check out this and share this link right now and comment on this link. So you're going to go to YouTube, click on the link, comment on the link, share the link, like and follow it. And I'm sure there'll be more announcements. And around July 20th, find out where it's playing near you. And if you have a bigger organization, reach out to them. And how do they reach out to you? Forgot about that.
Through you.
Through me.
Through you, or
how do I reach out to
you?
Okay. Okay. Reach out.
You are
to
the medium.
Sages. You can write Wisdom of Sages. We'll hook that up. Thank you. So
I'll put in my number also in the chat, and we can reach out there.
Okay. Good.
If that works.
Yeah. Okay, Ashwin TK, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you so much.
Great work. We're so impressed.
God bless. God bless. Jai Jai Narsimha.
Jai Jai Narsimha Bhagavan ki. Jai.
Jai. All right, Dharma's coming back.
Dharma's back. You know what? And all those old Indian films, they were all had a twist of Dharma in them. They're always the good guy, the Dharmic guy. Mm-hmm. There was always the rascal guy with a mustache doing something adharmic, taking the woman with the sari. There was always all those old. There was always a sadhu coming
Give
into
us
the
some good
film.
advice.
That was old Bollywood, how I remember it. You and I are old. And when we got into Bhakti, there was not that much Krishna conscious recreational films or
Well, now there
television.
were a few though classics.
There were a
though.
few, but they were made exclusively by ISKCON. They were very sort of like
No. But they were popularized by in other words, ISKCON went out and found those few for us.
Oh
right?
yeah,
But
there were like Nimai of Nadia, which is cool. It's like an old black and white.
what was that
film.
one? Something about life. This is life.
Yeah, This Is Life or something. That was a great one.
Okay.
That, you know what? We got to find that one and post it.
Okay.
It's a very good film. And I don't know where the story's from.
Sita's
But for
wedding.
the most part, there was not that much
Sita's
quote
wedding.
entertainment.
Sita's wedding.
I don't think I saw Sita's wedding.
And there's one about Tukaram.
I don't think I saw that one. I don't think I
Never
saw
saw
that one.
Tukaram one?
Oh, well, I wasn't watching as much films as you, perhaps.
You were just so
But-
excited about it a second ago. No.
Well,
no, I'm wrong.
Oh,
That
here,
was
someone's writing on the board. Maya Bazaar,
Tukaram.
the Chandra, Sita's wedding,
Sita's
Malik.
wedding.
Anyway.
On fire.
Anyway, what's that other one called? Anywhere in the World? Is that what it's called? Anywhere?
I don't know that one.
Oh no, Anywhere in the World. He's talking about something else.
Oh, that's where you
Okay.
can see the film.
Nityananda Chandra. If you know that one we're talking about, This Is Life or something like that. This Is Life. Something like it was a very good one, black and white one.
This is life. It's the one where someone tries to kill him, but the Bhagavad Gita, he's sleeping with it on his chest.
Yeah,
and then
something. He
someone
has a
tries to
whole
stab him
chain.
or
It's sort of
something.
it's something like a Ebenezer Scrooge Christmas
Right,
Carol. He was
right,
saved by
right.
Krishna.
Right.
But
He's all
the point
skeptical.
is, now it seems like these things are coming forward. Not just that, but music. Yesterday, I was just listening to Gaurabani and John B. Harrison, and there's so much good kirtan that's so, like, really epic, refined stuff that, again, will last for generations.
Okay.
It's great to bring kids into this world where there is, entertainment out there.
Yeah.
It's a culture now. We're
Well, let's have some-
recreating the culture and even modernizing the culture.
You're gonna have some more kids?
Am I going to have more kids?
Yeah.
I
mean,
have kids.
things.
Everyone is my child. You're my child.
All right. We were talking about children yesterday at the end of the show. We gotta keep this moving now. We don't have a nugget today. We go right in Bhagavatam, right?
I'm going right to the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, 10th canto, chapter 3. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayamadirayat. Before reciting the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Nara, Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in class in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Agyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Silakaya Chakshurumadatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 3, Text 34 and 35.
Okay, this is past life regressions. We're going back now. That's right.
Right. We have Lord Vishnu explaining the previous life of Devaki and Vasudeva.
I wonder if Lord Vishnu appeared before you, Raghunath, if the first thing he said is, "Can you tell me about my previous lives?" So how did this all happen? But it's happening right now for Devaki. He's saying, "This is who you were in a previous life, and this is why I was born to you." Right? It wasn't a random thing. There's a whole history behind it. Why don't you read the verse before that, and just so that we can,
Sure.
or two verses before that, maybe.
Text 32.
Yeah, start
The
with
Supreme
32.
Personality of God had replied, "My dear mother, best of the chaste, in your previous birth, in the Swayambhuva millennium, you were known as Prishni, and Vasudeva, who was most pious, who was the most pious Prajapati, was named Sutapa. When both of you were ordered by Lord Brahma to create progeny, you first underwent severe austerities by controlling your senses. Then we talked about this whole thing, like anything that we do, we preempt it with some type of auspiciousness, right? People buy a car.
right.
You see this in India. They do pujas for the car. They evoke, right? You're going to be driving to certain places. May all these places I go be auspicious. May it bring auspiciousness into my life. We build a house. You do a groundbreaking ceremony. You build a temple, groundbreaking. You have a wedding, the birth of a child. The child comes of age. There's all ceremonies, rituals to invoke auspiciousness, as well as conception. When is the auspicious day? We're not just going to conceive out of passion. Come on.
I'm going to plan this out.
We're going to plan this out. We're not going to conceive in the back seat of a Pinto. We're going to conceive in a whole, it's going to be like auspicious. We're going to call the great souls to appear into our bodies. This is what's going on here. We have no culture. We're cultureless. We're just running on passion and ignorance, like spinning out of control, like a boulder going down a cliff.
Whew.
Crashing. It's just like it's like a pileup of distress and destruction.
Raghunath, slow down. Mara, what is going on this morning?
I'm excited. Raghunath Swami's coming today.
I hope he's not going to turn around and leave as soon as he arrives.
Are you kidding? He's going to be inspired by my. I'm just inspired, Baba.
Okay.
People show it in different ways.
Whew. All right. Why don't you read the next verse now here?
34. My dear father and mother, you endured rain, wind, strong sun, scourging heat, severe cold, suffering all sorts of inconvenience according to the different seasons. By practicing pranayāyama to control the air within the body through yoga, and by eating only air and dry leaves fallen from the trees, you cleansed from your minds all dirty things. In this way, desiring a benediction from me, you worship me with peaceful minds. So interesting, Kaustubha. Me and Kaustubha both randomly were listening to this Joe Rogan episode where he was interviewing, what's his name? James Nestor from the book Breathe. I think that's an older podcast, but someone like re-put it out.
Okay.
But we were both listening to it, and he was asking him all these questions about pranayāyama and the power of pranayāyama, and he was talking about Swami Rama doing mystical things with his body, the use of pranayāyama and mystical powers. And then Joe asked this question. I wish I was on the show. I wish I was on that podcast.
I wish I was on the show.
I wish I was on that podcast just because he asked this question, like, why were they doing these things? I wish there was a why behind it. What was the point? What was the win behind the mystic powers? What was the win behind all the tapas?
Yeah.
It's right here. It's here. He was performing all these things to find deeper connection. And that is the goal of all these things. That's the goal of all these practices in the Vedas. And the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam it's the final statement of where we're going with all these metaphysical practices you've been doing, why you're building your house with Vastu, why we're getting this, why we're getting our charts done, why we're doing Panchakarma 30-day cleanses. Is it just to be organic and wholesome and healed? What does healed even mean? I'm healed of my trauma. For what? Why are you healed? What's your purpose? We've got the answer right here.
Okay, you don't have to yell at me, Raghunath. I accept.
Like,
you win.
What are we going to heal from our trauma to do what? Now I'm healed. I'm just going to walk around and create more trauma?
All right. Take a deep breath.
I don't know why I'm so wound up today.
So speaking of breath, why don't you take a few deep ones right now? There we go. Okay. Yeah. It said here that it was through these austerities and through this breath control that they cleansed their mind, right? It says it cleanse your minds of all dirty things. And, I get someone could hear that and, some
so
puritanical
stupid.
thing or something like that.
Or not even puritanical. I was thinking, just like old, what do they call it? Just like some old myth and story, all dirty things in the mind. But you know what? Your mind is dirty. Your mind's filthy. Your mind's disgusting.
Look at you.
And anyone who's honest will admit that they have thoughts running through their mind that
That's
are not
right.
wholesome, that are not uplifting.
That's right.
Right? They're filled with resentment. And this is what psychology is about. It's about fixing a dirty mind. When we say dirty, we don't just mean pornography, but it could mean lust.
Well,
Lust also.
What if we said impure? What if let's just shift the
Yeah,
semantics slightly.
And then someone would say, oh, yeah, well, what is purity? Purity is whatever you make it, Kaustubha.
Well, no, not necessarily. Let's discuss exactly what we would mean by impure, right? Or let's say this way. Let's take it out of the morality kind of window, and let's just look at it more mechanically. Even like let's look at the mind as a computer, right? Because if we want to draw parallels, we can draw incredible parallels between the mind and a computer. A computer takes in information through instruments, processes the information, stores the information, can draw the information back up, can engage with it again, and then can put out its own information. And that's exactly what our mind does. And what the yogis were saying is that just as a computer can become corrupted, right? Just as a computer can become corrupted by like malware.
Malware, yes,
right?
malware.
And not function
viruses
in a healthy way. So our mind can do the same. Our mind can become hacked,
Hacked, yep.
Or what do you call it when malware enters into your computer? Not necessarily
Getting a
hacking.
virus.
Yeah, corrupted. It can become
Some people
corrupted.
call it a virus.
It can become corrupted. It can
Corrupted files.
Yeah, Raghunath, I think we got that. That's good. Thank you. You hit the nail on the head. Corrupted files.
System error.
So just as that.
Remember in the old days when computers would always crash?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Like all the time. They'd be like, system error. And that was it. You got to shut everything down. I've lost all these documents. There was no cloud. Remember that?
Fascinating time in history.
I mean, we're going to remember that.
Okay.
Everything's now in a cloud now. Oh, God. Continue on.
Thank you. So let's take it out of the it's not a moral question. It's not like some puritanical imposition, some oppressive religious kind of thing. No, they're looking at it like even mechanically, that our minds do become corrupted by ideas, false ideas, crazy ideas that that disallow our mind to be connected with ourself. And so it becomes an instrument that was working against us rather than working for us, right? And the yogis are saying that there are ways that you can rid those files rid the computer of those files. There is an antivirus program that you can run, and that's yoga. And it does involve breathing, because breath affects the mind. And here it's also saying that it involves austerity, right? That if you deny yourself certain comforts, and if you voluntarily accept certain discomforts, it can have a purifying effect on the mind, because the mind is programmed to seek comfort, right? Seek comfort, and that comfort can actually it can corrupt our mind. So that seeking and that false idea that I need comfort and that my happiness is found in external comforts, it diverts us from the real happiness that is our true nature. And our life can begin to feel very meaningless and purposeless and depressing.
Kaustubha, I like what you're saying. We somehow evolved into this insane world where people are just saying, truth is whatever you make it. And there is no right and wrong. It's whatever you think is right. And whatever you think is wrong is wrong. Well, guess what? I think that's absolutely wrong.
Then that's right.
I think what you're saying is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
And because of it, and the fact is, it's not all good. No, quit opting into this, people. It's not all good. Assisting an elderly lady to cross the street, good. Human trafficking, not good. There is good and bad. It's quite simple.
All right.
It is the things that make you feel free, liberated, sense controlled, will make you peaceful. When the mind is peaceful, we connect with the self. We become joyous. Things that agitate the mind, like lust, which never fulfills us. We know that. Analyze it. Do it with food. We see it with food. We see it with money. We see it with sex. We see it with all these things. They never fulfill us. It's like blowing on the fire. It goes down for a moment and it goes back up. It spins us out of control. So those things that diminish the passions of the body, those are good because it makes you disconnected from the body and it makes us connect with our higher self. That's good. Things that tie us tighter to the body will make us suffer in a world of duality. Why? Because the body isn't always all good. No, the body's got good times and then it's got bad times. And then I suffer tremendously. Talk to anybody who has performed penance in anything. Either they're athletes and they perform penance, or they do fasting, or they do vows of silence, or they do any type of discipline of the body. They become incredibly tolerant and peaceful from those things.
Yeah, tolerant, peace. So many good things come from it. If we didn't have a nugget today, but here's a nugget for you, Raghunath.
Give me a nugget.
From Gilbert Keith Chesterton, G.K. Chesterton.
We quote Chesterton a lot.
Well, he was a great English author, philosopher, Christian apologist, journalist, and magazine editor, as well as an art critic.
Apologist.
Yeah. And G.K. Chesterton said, meaninglessness, which is a huge problem in our lives right now, right?
Meaninglessness is maybe the biggest problem.
Right.
Above climate change.
Okay. Yeah.
Meaninglessness.
Well, I would say climate change, could be, you could draw it back to a meaninglessness in life, Meaninglessness does not. That
itself is a nugget.
Thank you, right.
You just made a nugget. You made a pre-nugget.
Okay. Mara, note that nugget down.
There was a nugget in that nugget.
All right.
You were nuggetful today.
Well, here's G.K. Chesterton. He said, meaninglessness does not come from being weary of pain. Meaninglessness comes from being weary of pleasure.
I don't get it.
Well, just slow down. That's because your mind is racing this morning.
Is it?
Yes, we become weary. Our mind becomes weary. It becomes weak. It becomes really ineffective, and it becomes depressed. Our mind is like some couch potato sitting there, like, eating Doritos, watching some nonsense on television. Our mind is like this, it's become weary from when there is no austerity in life. You take austerity and then you add purpose to it and you get growth, right? That's just, we should be able to see in all the micro things, like, your biceps grow when you put them through the austerity of lifting weights. It's like, we grow, we evolve, we develop our character and our presence in the world through a combination of austerity and purpose. And we need to really figure out what's going to be my austerity and what's going to be my purpose, right? We don't want to just have austerity with we want to fine tune that purpose, and then we got to be willing to give for it, to sacrifice for it, to suffer for it. That'll make our life very meaningful, and we'll grow, we'll evolve.
And the people who have these purposes, they generally, they have some thick skin, and they have some deep rooted joy. I guess unless the purpose is a hateful purpose.
Well, that's the point. The purpose has to be the right purpose.
It's got to be the right purpose. It can't be any purpose, because there's purposes that are bad.
And the austerity has to be carefully considered as well. And this is what gurus are for. They're helping you refine your purpose, define your purpose, refine your purpose.
That's a nugget.
Thank you, Raghunath.
The guru is helping you refine your purpose. Kaustubha,
and to help you
today.
Thank you, Raghunath. But they're also there to help you determine what austerity is appropriate for you.
And what's the appropriate austerity for you?
Yeah. When you and I got, when we entered into the Krishna consciousness movement, we were given a purpose. This
Yeah, we had-
spiritual knowledge has to get out, right? This is the
it was like an
panacea.
emergency. It was like an emergency. Get the message out any way you possibly can.
And here we are nearly 40 years later with that
Racking
same
our
purpose.
brains,
Yeah,
racking
and
our brains to do the same thing.
refining that purpose.
And you know what? It's made me happy. It's made me happy to have this type of purpose because
I'm happy that you're
it's
happy.
not just any old purpose. It's a purpose of refining the mind.
Giving your life meaning. Yes, yes.
It's giving my life meaning.
But
I
we
was
were
just
also
listening to.
Yeah,
Go.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go.
Well, I was listening to Kaustubha Swami talk about the leaving of Kadamba Swami,
Oh, yeah.
which was his guru. And Kadamba Swami he was so. We knew him in the old days when he was married, when he was the temple president of Vrindavan, and he was just purpose driven. He was just a very purposeful person. And when he became a sannyasi in his later life, it was so admirable to see, like, here's a man who is his last breath is he's going to be spreading the holy name. And I was like, I want to be like that. I want to just go out of this world just like, this is my purpose. This is what I want to give to the world.
Face death with no fear whatsoever.
Fearlessness,
Yeah. Yeah. So we were given purpose. We were also given austerity. And we were kind of like, we were guided in how to fine tune, how to set the dial on the austerity in a good place. We were given, when we were brahmacharis, right? We were monks. We were taught all, you were given all kind of like the standard verses that explain what it's about and how to practice it and why it's important. I was thinking of this verse it's come from the sixth canto. What is tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha satyena satya sauchabhyam yamena niyamena va. You remember that one?
I don't.
That tapasya brahmacharyena. This was at the beginning of the sixth canto of the Bhagavatam. Maharaj Pariksit turns to Sukadeva Goswami, and he says, the Vedas, they teach about this whole process of like counteracting your bad karma through
Prāyaschitta.
Yeah, through atonement.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, prāyaschitta is a Sanskrit term. And but it seems like when people do that, you atone and then you do the exact same thing you did before. You atone for to counteract the bad reaction that you can get, but you still have the desire to do the same things. It's like you got these corrupted files on your computer, and it's going places you don't want it to go. And so then Sukadeva Goswami began to answer that and began to talk about how we need to live to purify the mind, to rid it of these corrupted files. And then he says this verse, tapasa brahmacharyena. Right? He goes right down the list. Tapasa, by voluntarily performing austerity. Brahmacharyena, sexual control. Yes. Every human being has to consider this. Am I going to live like an animal and just be controlled by my senses and become a slave to them? Or am I going to get it under control? We're not being puritanical here, right? But we're saying, and we had it set, like, there are people that were married and said, okay, sex can be here within the grounds of marriage, but you want to be aware of it. You want to have it, you want to try to gain control of it. And then we were brahmacharis. It was like, no sex at all. We're going to live right now, at least these years in our lives, right, with full control over it. It won't control us. We will control it. So tapasa brahmacharyena.
And people look at what we're doing or what we did in that time of life, and they say, well, the more I study this stuff, it's like, you guys are a bunch of thou shalt nots. You shalt not do this, shalt not do that. No. We have the purpose. Discipline is to enhance your joy, not to take joy. Right. If your joy is getting taken away, you're not doing something right. All this stuff is right. If I say, Mara, don't stick your face.
That was a nugget, right?
That was a nugget, Mara.
What was it again?
If I say, Mara, don't stick your face in the fire. She's like, oh, you trying to take away all my pleasure? No, you're going to burn your face in the fire. We're just so myopic, so short-sighted. We don't see that the fire is hot.
But you said if your joy is something, then it would. What was it that you said?
That
Mary,
wasn't
did you get
me
it?
talking. You think it's me talking?
No,
this is God talking.
Jesus
I can't remember any of
speaking to
this
you.
stuff. I'm channeling Jesus today, Bubba.
Okay.
Come
You
on.
sure it wasn't? It might have been Orson, but it was someone for sure.
People don't even know who Orson is, but that's funny.
What was it again, Mara? What did he
Mark
say?
from Orson. That's what it is. Oh, what was it, Mara?
Discipline is to enhance our joy.
Boom.
No, but that was great. But then he also said, if our joy is missing, then something
We're doing
about,
something wrong.
we're doing
If your
something
joy is
wrong.
missing, we're doing something wrong.
Okay, so that's the point. We need to refine our purpose. We need good teachers and people that embody it and really know it to help us refine our purpose. And then they can also help us refine our austerity. If we turn that dial to the point where our joy disappears,
Yeah.
we turned it too far.
Yeah.
Right? We're doing.
By the way, what?
Huh?
I was going to say, you made this interesting point. You need good teachers.
Yeah.
It's not just good teachers, because there's a lot of good teachers that won't resonate with you. You need a good teacher that talks your talk.
Well, that's what I mean by good.
Well, that's what I mean by good. I understand that.
Okay,
But
but you
sometimes
wanna
people get into
clarify
Bhakti,
that? I
they get
got
a
you.
little taste of it, but they just can't connect with a tribe.
They
They say Prabhupada built a house.
Whole world.
Someone said this the other day. It was so nice. Prabhupada built a house that the whole world can live in.
Yeah.
But there's many, many different rooms in that house. And you got to find the room that you can really thrive and grow in.
And we need some thicker walls sometimes in that house.
Sometimes you
Sometimes.
need,
Okay.
sometimes there's like out.
It's nice if we can have a dining room
outbuildings.
where we can all get together in the dining room and then go back to our rooms. All right. But,
I feel like this wisdom of sages is a big, beautiful part of that house.
I'm with you, Raghunath. And
It's the living room.
okay, but a real guru is not just this charismatic figure that you. I won't even go into it all. They can
But it
help
could be.
you. Not just.
Not just, yeah.
Yeah, they need to be able to help you refine your purpose really clearly, not just making the whole thing up based on as a representative of this ancient wisdom that's been handed down. And they should also be able to help you refine your practice so that you are performing austerity, not too much, not too little, right? That's where we kind of find our dharma like that. So Sukadeva Goswami was saying tapasya, austerity, brahmacharya, sex control, essentially, samena, even-mindedness, dhammena, control of the senses, tyagyena means, you can interpret that different ways. Prabhupada translates like giving in charity, but also like giving up things. Satya, truthfulness, sauchabhyam, cleanliness, internal and external. Yamena and niyamena, following the prohibitions as well as the positive actions. All of this, he says, this is through this that the mind becomes purified. It's through this that you rid the mind of the problematic files that are there. And what Vishnu is saying right now is he's saying, in your previous lives, not only did you rid your mind of all of the corrupted files that would divert you from your real purpose, but by doing so, your true nature, which is beautiful, spiritual, and very deeply devotional, it arose in such a way that your devotion called me, right? We all have that devotion in us, but it's become covered by these corrupted files. And if the mind could become free of those corrupted files, it will arise in us again, and it will call Krishna, right? It'll call him right into our lives. It'll call him into our minds. It'll call him into our hearts. And he's saying, that's what you did, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm your kid, right? That's why I took birth from you. We could read this. You want to read this commentary that's maybe a little fast? And
What number are we on?
we
34,
were
35?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a little bit of this. Vasudeva and Devaki did not obtain the Supreme Personality of Godhead as their son easily, nor does the Supreme Godhead accept merely anyone as his father and mother. Here we can see how Vasudeva and Devaki obtained Krishna as their eternal son. In our lives, we are meant to follow the principles indicated herewith for getting good children. Of course, it is not possible for everyone to get Krishna as his son, but at least one can get very good sons and daughters for the benefit of human society. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that if human beings do not follow the spiritual way of life, there will be an increase in Varna Sankara
Oh man.
population, right? Unwanted population, meaning kids are born and the parents don't even want them. This is so common. Unwanted children. It's so sad.
And unwanted and untrained and unrefined.
Undisciplined. Like, there's no father in their life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it was really
Nowadays.
now. Nowadays, no, it's just like to even be any type of father is just like a rare thing. We've really lowered the bar.
Raghunath, I made a mistake the other day where I took the train out to the beach, train out to Brighton Beach.
Going to the beach in New York City, that's your first mistake. But
No, that was great.
Okay, go on.
But I went in the last subway car. I didn't know if that was still a thing. It used to be like you go in the last car in the subway, and it gets a bit sketchy in the last car.
Oh, really? Really? That's like the back of the bus. Okay, go on.
Yeah, people can be doing all kinds of stuff. It's still a thing. I thought like, oh, that was back in the day, right? No, it's still a thing.
It's back.
And there's a lot of Varna Sankar in this world. It's sad. There's a lot of unwanted kids that are untrained, unrefined, and just their behavior is just outrageous. Outrageous.
Outrageous when kids behave like that. Yeah.
Whew. It's actually very sad.
Not like you and me when we were kids. We were like
we were
outstanding youth.
Right.
Ashwin was like, yeah, I went through a hard time, went through drugs. I was like, oh, Ashwin, you have no clue what we went through in America.
Well, Bombay can get dark. We're going to Mumbai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know dark. We are very familiar with dark.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sometimes I want to embrace these Indians and say, you know what, guys, I love you, but you haven't seen dark. Like
They've seen dark. Raghunath, you don't think that there's darkness in the slums of Mumbai? Come on.
There's also joy.
Yeah, well, there's joy here too.
I mean, you're right. You're right. You know what? Truthfully, I don't look for dark. When you look for dark, you find it.
Okay.
Write that down. Look for dark.
Why don't you read the last paragraph of this commentary? We'll end there.
All right.
Finish this up.
Human life is not meant for becoming a hog or a dog, right?
Yeah.
But for tapodivyam, transcendental austerity. Hogs eat anything. Dogs are beggars.
Okay, we're running out of time here, though.
Everyone should. You don't want my commentary on the commentary.
I've been appreciating your commentary this whole show, but we just want to get this part.
You've been appreciating it, or you've been saying I'm spinning out of control.
You were at the beginning, but then nuggets started to come out. You were spinning for a while there.
You should understand. Sometimes when I spin out of control, I'm on a transcendental roll. It's not even me talking.
You weren't. I had
That's the acharyas sometimes can speak through the devotees.
I had to
Sometimes
harness it a little.
Jesus spinning out of control.
It's very powerful, but it needs to be harnessed a little bit. I was harnessing it, Raghunath.
Okay, be careful. Don't harness too much.
I've been fine-tuning expertly. Okay.
Human life is meant not for becoming a hog or a dog, but for tapodivyam. Everyone should be taught to undergo austerity. Tapasya.
Everyone.
Although it may not be possible to undergo tapasya like that of Prishni and Sutapa, the Shastra has given an opportunity for the method of tapasya very easy to perform.
What do?
The Sankirtan movement. We come together and we sing and glorify God. It is the Kali Yuga medicine.
Okay.
This is a big thing, especially in New Age circles. Have you taken the medicine? Or hear people talk like that. Have you, the yoga scene? You've taken this medicine, this herb. It's a medicine. You know what the medicine is? Sri Krishna Sankirtan.
Thank you.
I went to Peru and took the medicine.
One cannot expect.
One cannot expect to undergo tapasya to get Krishna as one's child. Yet simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become so pure that one becomes free from all the contamination of this material world. Huh?
Yep.
Free. Mukta Sangha. And goes back to Godhead. The Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is teaching people not to adopt artificial means of happiness.
Okay. All the externals. No.
External. Just do whatever you want. It's fun. Follow your senses. Follow your desires. Stop your inhibition.
The pleasure codes.
Hare Krishna. I guess I'm going to tell you. and become perfect in every aspect of material existence. Booyah.
I think you skipped something there.
The chanting of the Hare. Oh, wait.
Artificial means of happiness, but
But to
Krishna
take to
conscious
the real
movement,
path of happiness
therefore-
is prescribed in Shastra, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahantra, and become perfect in every aspect of material existence. Miss Mara, any takeaway joyful nuggets?
I do. I got a lot of stuff today.
Lots of goodies?
Yep. The goal of tapas is a divine connection.
what's going on? He's out of control. Is he going to slow down by the time Maharaj gets there? I hope so.
I think so. I think he's getting it all out now.
He's getting it all out now. That's what's going
Yeah.
on. It's nervous
Gonna
energy.
be very grounded and wise when Maharaj arrives. What's your purpose after you heal from your trauma?
What's the purpose?
What's your purpose? Okay, yeah, that was a great point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I'm healed. I'm going through my healing. This is my healing practice. And then what? Healer?
Okay.
Through austerity and pranayama, cleanse your mind of dirt.
Get the dirt out.
Get your dirty mind out
Dirty,
of it.
filthy mind.
Yes.
Meaninglessness is our biggest problem.
Raghunath, we could have put him on a pulpit at the beginning of the show, like brought him down
Yeah.
to Baptist church, and people would be like, "Preach, brother."
It's true. Austerity plus purpose equals growth.
There
I
you
like
go.
that. I like austerity plus purpose equals growth. And joy and happiness. And happiness in the material world.
Thank you, Raghunath.
You're welcome.
Guru helps refine your purpose and practice the appropriate austerity.
You said that. That is true. What is my austerity, master?
Uncover our inherent devotion to call Krishna.
Okay.
To
uncovered.
what?
That's
To
it.
lol.
I call Krishna.
Oh, I
Call
thought you said
Krishna.
to lol Krishna.
Both.
Little
True,
Krishna.
little
Lull him right in. Lullaby.
Lala Krishna. Lala Krishna.
La, la,
I
la.
wonder if that's where we get lullaby from.
Yeah.
Huh? Singing a song to your lala.
If we're missing joy, we've turned the dial too far.
If we're missing joy,
We've
we
turned
turn the
too
dial. I don't
far.
remember saying turn the dial too far.
Well,
No, well, there's another person on this podcast.
Well, I know, but I said the missing joy thing.
I combine
You
your
gave it to him? Come on, Mara.
Discipline is to enhance our joy.
We're working together here.
Yeah.
We're working
You
together.
gave that. This is where I keep score.
All right.
Sri Krishna Sankirtan is the medicine.
That's the real medicine.
Thank
Thank
you.
Cuba.
Yeah.
That's it? I thought you had millions.
And
Well, it's 8:04.
and
And-
You dropped a few?
Face death fearlessly, like Kadamba Maharaj.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, Kaustubha.
Ooh, that was a roller coaster ride. That one today.
Yeah. The word lullaby has its roots in the Sanskrit word lalyate, which means is rocked or fondled.
Mara, I
one
got a nugget
source.
for you in
That's,
particular.
that's Professor Snooky.
Tell me, Prabhu.
That there are medicines. Just a little bit of this medicine, you can put it in food, it'll go unnoticed, right?
Yeah.
Totally unnoticed.
Wait a second. Are you trying to say give this man
It's grounding.
grounding?
It can be
getting rid
very
of his-
grounding. It can be very.
I'm very grounded, people. Why can't you accept the trick?
There's
The
even
flow was
small
transcended
amounts.
today.
Even
If I
small
say it
amounts.
loud, that means God is speaking louder. There are people who lose their mind and they just
Are there?
speak really loud and they say interesting deep things.
Oh.
You know, I got a
You
feeling
don't
John
say.
the Baptist was a lot like this.
John the Baptist.